Today I'm flying on the Etihad Airways Airbus A350-1000 on a flight from Abu Dhabi to New Delhi. I spent some time in the Etihad Airways first-class lounge prior to this flight. I got access based on my arrival flight from London Heathrow in the residence. I was really excited for this flight because it features Etihad's brand new business class in a 1-2-1 configuration. The business class cabin on the A350 is beautiful. Every seat features direct aisle access, as well as a door for additional privacy. The flight time to New Delhi is around 3 hours. Every business class seat features a fully lie-flat bed. You can't really store your personal item for takeoff and landing anywhere, so it has to go up in the overhead bin. The seat features a few storage areas, the IFE remote, an AC power socket, the headphone jack, seat controls. There was also a reading light. I was warmly welcomed by the crew and offered a glass of their signature lemon mint juice, which is absolutely delicious. Amenities on this flight include a comfortable pillow and a really thick blanket. Noise-canceling headphones were of course provided. Because the flight was so short, there was no amenity kit offered. We took off from Abu Dhabi a few minutes behind schedule, and the business class cabin was mostly empty. It really was only myself and a few other people. The departure from Abu Dhabi was kind of boring. There wasn't really a lot to see. The flight route took us first north over Dubai, and then over Iran and Pakistan before we reached India. A few minutes after takeoff, we were flying over Dubai, and we got to see a great view of both palms, as well as the world islands. I briefly switched seats to the other side so I could get some incredible views. As soon as we reached cruising altitude, 38,000 feet, the flight attendants offered us a drink of choice along with some almonds. I went for the champagne. The menu was distributed prior to takeoff. Lunch on today's flight began with an appetizer. There were only 2 options. For the main course, you could select one of 3 different options. To finish the meal, there were a few choices for dessert. As you'd expect, the beverage selection was very extensive and consisted of water, juices, soft drinks, coffee, tea. A separate alcohol menu was also available and featured champagne, white wine, red wine, dessert and fortified wine, spirits, liqueurs, and beer. Lunch began with a hot towel service. For the appetizer, I of course went with the Arabic meze. It was okay, but not as good as the one I had in the lounge a few hours before. For my drinks, I went with sparkling water, as well as another glass of the delicious lemon mint juice. Some bread and butter accompanied the meal. Since we were flying to India, for my main course I went with the Indian option, which was chicken, and it was absolutely delicious. The main course was definitely the highlight of the entire dining experience with Etihad today. I really liked the pace of the entire meal because it was neither rushed nor too slow. I selected the vanilla ice cream for dessert. Of course, it was rock hard and I had to wait at least 15 minutes for it to melt. I also had an iced mocha and asked the crew to add some Baileys to it. The combination was phenomenal. As with any Etihad flight, the crew was of course fantastic. Since the flight was so empty in business class, it kind of felt like flying in a private jet, except it was much nicer because Etihad's new business class is amazing. After lunch, I converted my seat into a bed and was looking forward to resting for a bit before we reached New Delhi. The bed and the bedding were super comfy, and I had no trouble falling asleep really quickly. As we were getting closer to New Delhi, the sun began to set. After we landed, the IFE displayed some really cool statistics. When we reached the gate, the curtain between economy and business class was closed, so that business class passengers could disembark first. Once again, it was another incredible flight with Etihad Airways.